Welcome. How's everybody doing today? I'm here solo today. My amazing, beautiful partner is a veteran. She got invited to go. I got to pet Callie at the same time because she wants to be occupied. She got invited to Gabby's assembly to do Veterans Day there. And she is an Air Force veteran. So big shout out to Diane today. Veterans Day coming up. And so I'm solo, all alone today. But welcome to the channel. This is IF Keto Family Life. My name is Michael Parham, and I've been living a keto-like lifestyle now for a year and a half. Here in this community, we discuss things dealing with intermittent fasting and eating keto-like. And we say keto-like because we don't live a keto lifestyle. Keto is really strict, and you have to really be aware of how many carbs you're taking in, and we do not do that here. Well, hello, Connie. How are you? Anyway, so I'm solo, so we'll see how I do by myself. I'm so used to doing this with Diane. She does all the talking. I'm not a talker. I just show up. She fills in all the blank spots, so I'm not really used to that. But anyway, she has some stuff to do for Veterans Day, so I am here. So today we're going to be talking about 8 things to consider before going keto-like. Okay, so we'll dive right into it. So if you want to type in where you're from and how long you've been living a keto-like lifestyle, or if you are living a keto-like lifestyle, please do that. Please hit the like button and also hit the reminder button so you can know when we are going live here on this channel. So, number 1, know what foods to eat and what foods to avoid. And it seems like a lot of the times we are so focused on what foods to eat. And here's where people stumble a lot. You know, they try to figure out what do I eat? What do I eat? And they're looking for recipes and they're doing all kinds of stuff when you should be focusing on what to eat and what to avoid. And a lot of times we leave that part out. What should we be avoiding? A lot of us, we found out in our family, we have a lot of food sensitivity issues in our family, and you know, you're just not aware of it. You just think you feel bad all the time, or you're inflamed, or you have sore feet, or whatever issues you have from being irritated from whatever food that you're eating. So we discovered that in our family. So we start discovering which foods, not only what we should be eating, but what we should be avoiding. So as far as what we recommend in this community for living a keto-like lifestyle is high fat, moderate to low protein, and conscious carbs. Like I said before, we don't do I mean, if you're living keto, a lot of people say, well, I'm keto, I live a keto lifestyle, and they really don't. If you're living a keto lifestyle, you're doing 20 grams of carbs, and, you know, and that works, but you have to stick to that lifestyle, and a lot of people don't. I mean, and for us, we believe in living our lifestyle. We're not going to deviate from when we have, you know, young kids. Well, we have a kid in college and one who's in junior high, and we never know what we're going to be doing from one minute to the next. So we're not that strict on our carbs. But if you are, I'm not knocking it. I mean, go for it. It's a great lifestyle. But here we live a keto-like lifestyle, and we do focus on high fat, low to moderate protein, and conscious carbs. So that was number 1. Know what foods to eat and what foods to avoid. And sometimes it's almost worth to make a list, especially if you're new to this, is make a list of foods that you want to eat living this lifestyle, and what foods are nutrient dense that you want to eat. Because sometimes you fall into that trap of, you know, it's time to eat, and oh, here we go. Well, let me just grab a bag of chips. I'm hungry, you know, or you go to the drive-thru or whatever. So if you have these things planned out and listed, you won't fall into that trap and eat some crappy processed food. Okay, so that's number one. So we want to deal with whole foods and avoid processed foods, basically. Okay. And number two is understand what good fats are. What are good fats? In our family, we use a lot of oils on things, particularly avocado oil. If you have any type of a vegetable oil in your house, toss it, get rid of it. Very toxic. So we eat a lot of avocados. We do a lot of oils on our salads. We cook with a lot of oils. We use a lot of nut butters. But you know, even Google it if you have to, and figure out a list of good fats that you can start including in your keto-like diet. Number three, cook and eat at home. You know, we all have fallen into that trap of going out to eat all the time, and man, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble going out to eat too much, and you know, because they're not going to look out for your health the way you're going to look out for your health when you go out to eat. So, and we just, you know, focus on good nutrient dense foods, one ingredient foods, and we've come up with some pretty good things that we like to eat. And you don't have to follow any particular recipe or guide. And that's the thing we hear a lot, excuse me, in this community is people want a recipe. What do I eat? Give me a recipe. Well, just eat nutrient-dense food. You know, you want to know what a nutrient-dense food is? Eat a one-ingredient food. You know, these are going to be pretty nutrient-dense. You know, but a lot of people feel like they have no clue, and they just scramble when it comes to trying to figure out what should I be eating. But if you eat at home, good nutrient dense foods, and know what you're eating, one ingredient foods, like I said. Okay. Number four, fatten up your coffee to break a fast or to feast on. Okay. Now, me and Diane differ a little bit in this area. For the first year I was living this lifestyle, I did everything clean. Now at this point that I'm at now, I've been doing this almost 2 years now. I do fatten up my coffee at the beginning of my day in the morning, and I've already been fasted, you know, through the night, of course. But I will dirty up my fast at that point. Now Diane won't do that. She likes to break her fast with a fat coffee or have it during her feasting window. And you have to see what works for you. A lot of people talk about you know, the butter coffee and that, you know, that sort of thing. And we actually use that brand of coffee, but we don't use butter, the Bulletproof brand, and it just didn't work for us. I mean, when we started this early on, we would start out with butter coffee, and it just didn't work for us. You know, if it works for you, stick with it. But what we're suggesting today is to break your fast with it or to feast on butter coffees. And you can do a keto coffee. I happen to put keto cream in mine, which I enjoy, coconut oil, pure cream, butter, if you can eat dairy. But that, like I said, that just did not work for us. So we couldn't do the Bulletproof coffee. But like I said, I do love that brand. So I buy their beans and I make it the way I like it. Okay, so that's number four. Number five, add electrolytes. Add electrolytes. And what we do for our electrolytes, we drink it in our Mountain Valley water, because it has the, you know, the potassium and the magnesium and the sodium. So we get our electrolytes there. But it's going to help you when you start running into issues like, you know, you start getting cramps, especially if you're new to intermittent fasting. You know, if you start getting the keto flu, headaches, cramps, and it'll help you balance your hormones. So definitely get the electrolytes in you. And number six, be aware of what the side effects are. Because if you're new to this, you're definitely going to have some side effects, like the keto flu. And these are things that might keep you from living this lifestyle. If you go, hey, I got sick trying to do that. Sugar withdrawal, like you might feel like you want more sugar than you did before. Fatigue, carb obsession, friends thinking you're crazy. And we probably all run into that, right? Like, you don't eat. They just don't understand the lifestyle at all. What do you mean you're not going to eat? You know, and it's no, you're just putting your feasting and your fasting into windows. You know, you can eat the same amount of calories if you, I mean, we don't count calories here, but you can eat all your food in a window, whether it be 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever. So it's not like it's different than starving yourself. You're not starving yourself. But people will, you know, sometimes they'll raise an eyebrow, like, you know, oh, what, you're, you know, fasting, you know. And I'll have to admit, when I first started, just hearing that word kind of sent some shivers up my spine, like, fasting, like, oh no, I like to eat, so not really a lifestyle for me. I never dreamed that I would be living this lifestyle. I mean, honestly, and it's amazing. Like, once you get used to it, and once you work everything out, it's a great lifestyle. But do be aware of these side effects, because some of these side effects they're real, and you may feel like, well, when I tried this, it made me feel more hungry, or it made me feel like I had the flu, or, you know, I was having these sugar cravings, and, you know, I wanted to eat more carbs, you know. And this stuff can happen, but just I think if you're aware of it, and I don't think I really had a lot of these. I don't ever remember having keto flu. Fatigue, yeah, maybe. And I didn't really have friends thinking that I was crazy, because I don't really feel like I need to tell people what I do anyway. So I didn't really get that. But you may get that. Just be aware of it, so you know how to handle it when it comes. Okay, number 7. Include your family and friends for support. Okay, so Diane, when she started doing this, she hit me up right away, like, I think we should do this. This would be great, blah, blah, blah. And this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, she didn't really push me like, hey, you should do this. It was more like, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try this. And, you know, and she didn't really say, hey, you better do it too. So I just kind of watched. It was like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm open to try anything. So it was like, okay, yeah, I could give that a shot. But I'm thinking, like, for a day or maybe for a week, because you're so used to having that dieting mentality. And, you know, I've always thought, like, well, if, you know, you do a certain thing, and then you're done with that thing, and you go on to something else. So that's the way I kind of saw this lifestyle at first, was, yeah, this would be great to do temporarily, like, but I'm not going to live that life for sure. But she did sit down and have a discussion about it. And I started kind of, you know, I was interested in it. You know, I've heard a lot about it, and to intermittent fast and live a keto-like lifestyle has really changed my life. Now I think it's the easiest thing I could possibly do to stay in good health. We shared a couple weeks ago about my numbers. The first 6 months of doing intermittent fasting and a keto-like lifestyle, my numbers were pretty off the chart. I mean, my doctor was giving me stars for everything and telling me how great everything was, and I felt good about that. So I didn't know really what to expect. I just went to the doctor. I just got my results back, like, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, and they were better. They were better than they were, you know. And this is now this was a year and a half later, so I'm going on 2 years of living this lifestyle, but. So a year and a half in, I get these results, and they were even better. And I'm like, wow. Okay. So, and I even told my doctor, I said, well, this intermittent fasting must really be working. She goes, well, you better just keep doing what you're doing, because like just one of the areas, like for testosterone, we know how important testosterone is for men. And my previous numbers were, it was 500, I think it was 509, I think it was. And those are good numbers. They're right in the middle, right where they should be. And then my results for this last blood test were 668. 668. Okay, so I mean that's just a huge jump. And if you, as a male, if you have more testosterone, that helps you build more muscle mass, your bone density is better, your sex drive. I mean everything. So it's just amazing that your numbers can get better. So, and what I've seen in this community, and watching people in Diane's group that she teaches in her courses, I've seen so many off the chart amazing results that it just blows me away. I mean, anybody that's done her course for, just the 3 weeks, or people that have repeated, I mean, I'm a fly on the wall, just in awe of, some of these women that are just able to do what they're doing, and they're changing their numbers and changing their life, just from living this lifestyle. So I really believe in it. I love this lifestyle. And for a lot of you that are on here, I know you're living this lifestyle. And if this is new to you and you're interested in this lifestyle, you should definitely do some research on it. Give it a try, because there's been a lot of research that points to this, to intermittent fasting, what it's doing for people. And people are now learning how to become sugar burner. I mean, not be sugar burners anymore, but learn how to be fat burners, and tapping into their ketones. And so it's been pretty amazing for us as a family. It's been amazing for me, because I just, like I said, over the years, trying to do diets, and once you get done with one thing, then you go back to your old ways, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? Put on I put that 20 back on again. How am I going to get rid of this? And and as we get older, it's just becomes so much harder. Like what you used to be able to do, like in the past, I could very easily just start running or start working out more, curb my diet a little bit, boom, you're back into shape, muscles pop in, and it doesn't happen anymore. I'm 54 years old, Diane's 52, and just doesn't happen that way anymore. So, I mean, so this lifestyle is really, I think to me, it's a shortcut. I mean, if you can intermittent fast and eat keto-like, man, like I don't feel like I have to work out. I work out, but I don't have to work out like for hours. If like before, like, man, I'd go in the gym for hours. I'd run 7 miles. I would do anything I could do to take the weight off. Now, this whole process feels really, it's a shortcut. I mean, it's a shortcut for sure. And it'll definitely change you. Anyway, let's see what kind of comments we have on here. Connie, thank you. Sandy, you're doing great. Well, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that. Diane's the talker in the family, and she's not here today. So, I don't mind. I don't really get nervous like doing this, but I just hate the dead time. You know what I mean? And when you're doing a live, it's just you, and you don't hear any other voices, and you're just talking. And so when you get to the silence, it's like, whoa, and like when I feel like I want to stop talking, oh, here comes Diane. She's right there. And she loves to talk, don't tell her I said that. She loves to talk. So I'm okay with that. Like when she starts talking, okay, I can take a break. Okay, Kara's here. Connie's from Georgia. Started IF and keto in August. Awesome. Margaret's here. My Aunt Debbie's here. Wow, man. I have a really special audience today. Oh, well, welcome, Aunt Debbie. I'm glad you could jump on here. And man, yeah, it's so, yeah, I'll be doing more of these, I'm sure, on my own because on Fridays, Diane does, oh, she does like four. How many does she do on Friday? She does like 4 or 5, right, Kara? I think on Friday she does like 3 or 4, and then she does mine with me. So I'm sure I'll be doing more of these on my own, which I mean it's not bad. I don't mind it, but and it's fun. It's fun, but it's just like anything else. You have to get used to doing it. This will be great for my husband to say, awesome, Amanda, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing that we want in this community. We want to get more of the men to come along. As when Diane started this, she was doing it pretty much for women, for today's aging woman. But we have had a lot of men that have started to, jump on and their intermittent fasting, living a keto-like lifestyle with their husbands and getting them interested. So we'll definitely be doing more. We've even talked about me doing a course like Diane's next year. So yeah, thank you for being here, and we'll definitely get more of the husbands on because that's so important. And it's been a great thing for us as a family. Like, she was able to get me on right away to live in this lifestyle, and I'm so glad she did because it's so much better than any kind of dieting or anything that I've done in the past. So, and once you get used to it, it's not hard at all. It's not complicated. Let me put it that way. It's not complicated. All right, so I hope y'all are going to have a great rest of your Friday. I think me and Diane are doing a little date night tonight. Can't wait to do that. Love going on date night. And we will catch up with you next week. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining me.